Welcome back to Healthy Living. Clinical psychologist Audrey Katsadira shares insights on self-awareness, resilience, and abundance from within while working with women patients. Thank you so much for your time and joining us on the show.
You're welcome.
Is there a difference when it comes to gender and mental health and mental illness?
Absolutely. I think it's always important to at least know the distinctions, because then you'll be able to have a more relevant discussion in terms of just how you understand and unpack those aspects.
Now, in Women's Month, we know there's a lot of issues that are being highlighted. And on the one hand, it's very celebratory. It's, the journey that women have been through for the country and the liberation movement. But on the other hand, it's extremely sad. With the issues that the women are being faced with, the fatigue mentally and emotionally is extremely draining. And the question to you is, are women of the nation coping?
My answer to you simply is no. And I think what Women's Day does actually is highlight the fact that maybe it should be Women's Month, Women's Year, Women's Life. The fact that we start to celebrate women in a particular month means that there's a lot that's missing. So in a sense, it's sad because it actually brings up the idea that women aren't really coping, or the support structures that are there around them are not as adequate to address the concerns that they have.
Many people associate women with being extremely resilient, like a woman can multitask easily and can handle anything. I mean, I think about it, a male can't even handle a cold, we're going to handle giving birth. But from an emotional and a mental perspective, we assume the exact same. But the reality is that mental concerns and conditions are affecting women a lot more. And when you mention support structures available to them, what, in your opinion, would be the ideal support structure just to give them a step forward in the right direction?
Okay, maybe let me start by unpacking what you said. From an evolutionary perspective, there is that perception that women are strong, women are resilient. And this may be because women are more relational, but then just because someone is resilient and has a high tolerance to handle discomfort, it doesn't mean that they need to be filled to capacity. And the unfortunate thing is that is actually what is happening. So women are starting to get strained because in the beginning it was, you know what, you don't have to go out there and work. You need to just focus on the kids, focus on the home, be that homemaker. However, now with the demands that are there economically, the advancements of countries, women are starting to work. So there's the pressure of the work context, which now says women's liberation, right? 50-50, right? So work just as hard as a man. Then come home and continue to do what you've always been doing. So women are starting to crack under that pressure. And then the unfortunate part is, even though women are relational, I'm starting to see that women don't quite know how to support one another.
When I look at the other reality that women are faced with, I mean, every week we're hearing about abuse, about gender-based violence, about women that are being killed by their intimate partners, women that are being raped, young girls that are being violated. And the scourge just doesn't seem to be being curbed in any form or way. What can we do to support women just for that really ugly aspect of what they're faced with on a daily basis? Because they might be going to work and dealing with issues at work, but then they come home and it's not a safe space at all. So where is their safe space, and where do they find that and get the strength to stand up and say enough?
Thank you so much for bringing up the notion of the safe space. So a safe space starts in childhood, actually. And so I think that's where we want to start to address our systems within South Africa. The family system, for example, there's no right or wrong way of being a family, but the idea is to provide that platform of stability and safeness at the very least. So what I think is missing is that we have young girls who are suppressed in terms of being able to voice their opinion. They're being told, no, you're not allowed to speak. And if something happens, no, you're not allowed to say, because how is that going to look? So women are in a constant state of being suppressed and in a constant state of thinking of the other person. And I think that's the relational aspect that I spoke of earlier. So something that should ideally be a strength becomes a pathology, because the mom who's raising this girl, or the grandmother who's raising this girl, or the cousin, the sister, the guardian, is telling her, listen, this is how we did it. You have to remain silent. There's not much support. And guess what? If a woman does go and report, the justice system does not do much. And I think we've had this conversation so many times about how you'll go and report, but then you actually experience re-trauma. You'll be ridiculed, maybe you'll be mocked, or at the very least not taken seriously. It's just, okay, you'll be fine, these things happen. And I think that's the thing. We need to start to demystify the notion of silence, and these structures that are quite resistant to women opening up. So a safe space actually starts when a woman is able to have her voice that regardless of the resistance I'm going to face, I'm going to speak. Yes. And we should actually encourage women to speak from a young age and to listen to them. And I think that's actually what's missing.
I think it's a wonderful and a powerful notion to have, and to create that safe space linked directly back into that support structure. Absolutely. And for women to get together and not real conversations, but like you said, authentic conversations. Absolutely. Accept the reality and own how one has dealt with it and one hasn't, and how we can learn from each other. And you know, those, you know, for lack of a better phrase, they call it a peer education, peer support. Absolutely. And that's what it brings in. But something else you're very passionate about, for women in particular, is self-care. And the notion of self-care is beyond just the hair and the makeup and the way our body looks. But many people associated with that. There's a self-care that happens in the heart, in the emotions, but also in the mind. Where do women start by addressing this issue?
So, you know, coming back to this idea of authenticity, it means that we are able to provide platforms where women from different backgrounds come together, and not coming together because of a common theme, which is, oh goodness, we're victims, but coming together to say, what resources do we have? What resources do we have, even as we pull together? And then when we do that, then being unafraid to have uncomfortable conversations. You'll find that a lot of people that are able to collaborate effectively are able to say, we have differences, but for the purpose of this particular cause that's bigger than us, we can come together. And I think those are the affiliations I've been able to build, where I'm very different from some of my partners or my friends or my colleagues, but it's the ability to have the uncomfortable conversations that you find start to contribute to change. So coming back to self-care is really about self-acceptance. And a lot of people think, if I improve this, then I'll be fine, then I'll accept myself. If I improve this, then I'll be fine. But then self-care actually starts with, where am I now? Where am I right now? And can I love myself, accept myself as I am right now? And then to do anything else from the point of self-love. That's what it is.
If you could have one take-home that the woman watching this interview today would take with them and resonate within them to evaluate, review, mull over, digest, and then hopefully put into action, what would that be?
Be willing to get uncomfortable, because any transformation will take being uncomfortable. And being uncomfortable is stepping out of your shell. Be willing to do things that are different from how you've always done them. And more than anything, be willing to mix with women that are different from you. Don't get stuck in the rut of comparison, but be willing to get uncomfortable to go and sit with that woman who you may not know, and to actually be able to harness the resources you never thought you could.
Wow, thank you so much for your time, for sharing this passion that you have for people, and the insights that you've given us as well, because you've given us bite-sized chunks of pearls for us to absorb, digest, and literally see how we as men and as women of society can implement into our lives.
You're welcome. It's been a pleasure.
Self-care is important, not just for the women of society, but for the men as well. We need to learn to love ourselves. And part of loving yourself is exercising by looking after your body. Please do join us for this week's workout routine. It's August and it's Women's Month, and our exercise routines for this entire month helps you women out there target those problem areas. And today we're starting off with the legs. We are here outdoors with the ducks quacking and the birds chirping to show you how simple and easy an outdoor workout is. The weather's warm, get out there, grab your friends together, ladies, and have a group fitness session by doing these simple exercises to target certain areas on the legs. Ladies, are you ready? So first things first, all I want us to do is hands up, and lift those knees up and hands go down. This is a warm-up. Now this is called the knee raise pull down warm-up. You're lifting up with your knees, dropping down with your hands. You do this for at least 60 seconds to ensure your body gets prepared for the workout ahead. Keep it going, nice and easy. All right, good, relax it down. You should be warm. Again, body temperature's increased, the body feels a little bit limber, so now we can rock and roll with the specific exercises mapped out for those legs. So we're gonna start off, and you know these lovely saddlebags, as they call them, on the ladies, you tend to get a lot of fat buildup in this area over here. So we're going to focus on concentrated leg raises. So ladies, from there, bend both knees, Put the weight on your left leg, right toes on the floor, hands up for balance. Lift up, hold, and down. Lift up, hold, and down. Now this exercise, as you raise that leg, focuses on pulling the saddlebags or the side of the leg. That helps you tighten and tone that area. Do this for 30 repetitions on each side. And don't forget to hold it for a split second as you lift that leg up. Good, change legs. 3, 2, 1. Good, hold it there for luck, hold it for luck, keep it there, feel the burn, and drop it down. Kim's balance is a bit wonky, so she needs to focus on strengthening her right leg. All right, next up, ladies, you know this thing called cellulite. Cellulite loves the back of the legs, and we're moving up in towards summer, so you need to begin to burn the cellulite off, tighten those areas. So now we're focusing on the back of the legs or the hamstrings. All that I want you to do is keep your feet shoulder width apart, right foot go forward, bend the left leg, lift your toes up and lean forward and try to touch your toes with small, smooth bouncing motions. All right? Now with this exercise, you'll notice that your leg that is in front, the knee is straight. It's isolating each leg, and you're going to feel a burn behind the knees, moving up towards the buttock in the back of the leg. This exercise you do for 30 repetitions on each side. Touch your toes, Kim. Good, change legs. Lift up, go. Good, and relax it up. Simple and easy. So far we've targeted 2 problem areas, but not to forget the front of the thighs. Many ladies have an accumulation of fat in and around the knee area, and that is just because you're not active enough forcing the body to burn that fat in the lower legs. Remember, your body doesn't burn fat where you choose it to burn. Your body burns fat wherever it wants to burn fat, but you can shape and tone muscles in specific areas. So we're going to force the body to shape and tone the thigh or the front of the leg and encourage the body to burn fat throughout the body, and eventually it will reach that area for you. So let's go into the sumo squat. All right, feet out at 45 degrees, legs wider than shoulder width apart, hands in front of you. Drop your bum back and go as low as you can, hold and lift up. Low as you can, hold and lift up. Low as you can, hold. Now this exercise you do for 40 repetitions, focusing on as you're dropping your buttock, imagine you're sitting on a chair and holding it there for a split second. Don't come up all the way, come up halfway and then focus on dropping your buttock as low as you can. Forcing the work on the front of the leg, the back of the leg, a beautiful all-round exercise. Keep it going. Good, not so high, Kim, now down. Brilliant, brilliant, good technique, ladies, keep it going. Good, and up we come. That's how simple a leg workout is in Women's Month. That's all we have for you on today's show. Thanks for watching Healthy Living on Afro Worldview. From me, Ronald Abaji, and the team, keep warm and healthy. Cheers.